So I never made a video talking about the whole birth control conversation that Johnny and I had. And now that we've seen other conversations since, I figured we should talk about it. So going back to the conversation that Johnny and I had on our season, if you don't remember, there was a bit of a disconnect because I had never been on birth control by choice. And because I also know my cycle very well. And Johnny had never been with a girl that wasn't on birth control. And let's be honest, there was a lot of lack of awareness and education on our end. Absolutely. But there are topics that are sometimes kind of dormant until it needs to be revisited, because I had never thought about going on birth control. Did I know the different types at a surface level? Yeah, but I never did a deep dive because I never felt like I had to. Johnny, on the other hand, knew about birth control at the surface level as well, based on his previous lived experiences. And obviously, as much as we both talked about wanting kids in the pause, I just want to remind everybody that's watching Love is Blind that this is an incredibly accelerated process. And the last thing that we personally wanted to do is have kids immediately after quickly getting married. That is something that we were fully in agreement with. We wanted to build the foundation of a healthy marriage and have lived experiences with one another. However, I was not about hormonal birth control, and Johnny just wanted to make sure that we took the safest precautions to make sure we met in the middle. And to this day, it's funny because people think that Johnny made me go on birth control, which is wild because the thought of any man making me do something is crazy. Like, do y'all know me? Like, that is not me. But yeah, I never went on any form of hormonal birth control, and watching it back and seeing viewers comment on things like, did you ever consider this or that, is crazy, and honestly kind of shows the overall projection when it comes to the lack of information. Like, my personal favorite, the one most commonly said, is people saying, what about condoms? As if one can't be allergic to it. Like, these conversations are serious, they're important, and most of all, it looks different for each relationship because people have different preferences, belief systems, and bodies. It's not a one-size-fits-all conversation. Now, what I do know, and I can speak from my experience, is that my husband did his homework, he listened to me, and overall, he respected me and honored my body, so much so that to this day, I've never been on any type of hormonal birth control. We still don't have kids almost 3 years later, and he knows my cycle so well and takes care of and nurtures me in each phase. And to add on top of it, we've been living it up and traveling the world, quite literally Monaco Bad Bunny flow, okay? Now, switching gears to what we've seen on season 7 and what we're seeing now, all I'm seeing is dismissive energy and full-on disrespect from these men. I feel like people get tired of this conversation, but in my opinion, it's an incredibly important one to have in any romantic relationship, especially one that's incredibly as fast-paced as this one. The way that it's been handled by these men has been disgusting, atrocious, and a lot to take in. And all I hope is that women who see these conversations walk away if they're ever put in a similar predicament. That's what we saw in season 7, and that's what I hope we see in this season 2, because I mean, like, all I gotta say is always pick the man that's willing to learn and honor your body, and don't give your time and energy to one that's going to be dismissive and overall disrespectful. That's all.